Hey guys, welcome to La Bóveda podcast. And today we have here again with us our good friend Benny Rose, FRAMEBREAKER. Benny, welcome back to La Bóveda podcast. How have you been?
Thank you for having me. I'm great, brother. I'm great. I'm tired, but it's a good tired. It's, you're working hard to create some awesome stuff, so you're going to get drained, but
Oh
it's a
yeah,
good feeling.
I know the feeling, bro. Right now, right now I'm swamped, bro. So Benny, there's a lot of stuff. Like guys, for those of you that haven't watched the first episode, I'm gonna link it on the bottom too, so you can watch the first interview. It was super great. That was the first time that I actually talked with Benny, and it was awesome. We were talking about the Cecil before he came out, and we know Benny as Clammy on the Cecil. He has worked with Fear Comes Home, Clammy, The Milkman, Neon Arcadia, which is he's a musician also like moi, and he has his podcast Press for Time, and now FRAMEBREAKER. Can you talk us a little bit about FRAMEBREAKER? Well, what does it mean? When it all started?
Absolutely. So you are getting an exclusive. This is the first time that I'm actually really openly talking about it. The project has been around for maybe about 6, 7 months or so. It is a solo moniker for me.
Okay.
So essentially, it is music that I'm going to put out on my own. Neon Arcadia is a music project that's still, um, it's not active at the moment, but we are, collaboratively working together as musicians, so music can still come from that side of things. But with FRAMEBREAKER, the mindset was I've been a musician most of my life. I love to be in bands. I love to play with other people and collaborate, but I've never really actively pursued doing music on my own and actually put it out into the world. So I've done solo a lot over the years. I've written hundreds and hundreds of songs, but I never put stuff out, or
Yep.
I would share it with the bands and it wouldn't be the right fit, things like that. And then, fast forward to 2025, I'm being a lot more involved with the video game industry directly, working with developers now for voice acting and creative directing and such. So it made me think like, hey, maybe I can start doing some music and do it myself and, see how that works out. I have been an instrumentalist most of my life as well because I've always been behind keyboards and stuff like that. So I've always had the niche for like just hearing what can I do for like this environment? What context can I bring? And that's really where it started. And thinking of a name, sometimes I feel like a lot of people overthink it, but I overthink everything.
Yeah,
So
that's how we are, bro.
it was really important to like kind of nail down something that made sense for me. And one of my biggest, more recent inspirations in music is Disaster Piece, who, if
Mm.
you're not familiar, is also a video game composer, but also a film and TV composer now as well. He has done, if you've ever seen the movie It Follows, that's one of his most
Yeah.
memorable scores that he's done. Um, he was a big inspiration for me as far as like embracing a little bit of the retro um, chip tune kind of sounds, but inspire that with some modern, different types of synths and just the love of all these different genres. He's not a big horror guy. I'm a horror nut, as you know. So I felt like I was already so deep in the well with games like the Cecil and Milkman and Fear Comes Home, which I can't talk much about that particular one, so we'll leave that one for now. But I will say that the name FRAMEBREAKER is really about my personality, which is everything that I do. I feel in the creative space, I do very unconventional. I don't go through a lot of the traditional means on how I write music, how I come up with art concepts and stories and things like that. It's just very different because anytime I've collaborated with people, it's always just been, oh, that's how you do that. That's different. It's not, and it's just because I'm very self-taught with a lot of things.
Yeah.
So the idea behind that was, we live in a world where almost every industry is saturated, right? Like everything we do, streaming, gaming, everybody wants to do it. So how do you stand out? one of my ways of standing out is doing things different. And when it comes to the opportunity like this to talk about that, it really makes more sense. So the idea is like you have this frame of what you expect, your music, your video game score, your voiceover work. You have a perception of what it should be. My idea is to break that norm and to do it in a different way. So it also ties into my voice acting, which a lot of my auditions I submit with what I call context. So I'll give a dry take, which is my voice with nothing on it. I'll do a wet take with some effects if I feel that they've given me enough to explain what they envision for the character. And then I'll give them context. Sometimes I have music that I'll put together and I'll throw it in there and I'll create an entire scenario. It's a little bit of sound
That's
design, it's a lot of the creative stuff that I don't think a lot of people are doing, and if they are doing it, they're not sharing that secret. But anybody I've brought it to, they're like, you have like kind of overdid your homework in a sense. But I think it's important for me because there's a method to all of our madness. There's a reason that we do things
yep.
creatively, and when I can provide context to that, it makes me feel like I can better explain myself and kind of help separate myself from everybody else. So that is really where FRAMEBREAKER came from. And I liked that it was something that I looked up and there wasn't a million people with like a similar name and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yep.
So it started with one track that I did for my friend, The Regular Sauce, who's a very well known Five Nights at Freddy's professional creature creator and fabricator in the world of Five Nights at Freddy's, and he actually works for the company Steelwool that makes some of the games.
Yeah.
He has made costumes that are like 1-to-1, and he does reveal videos.
Yeah, I
And
saw
I
one
had
of the
the ple-
videos that you sent me. That was crazy, bro.
yeah, I think we looked at one of them last show, which was for his Yellow Rabbit, which was basically the Matthew Lillard suit from the
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's movie. But then he did a Springtrap suit from the game itself, and that was an opportunity for me to put music together under FRAMEBREAKER for the first time. So that was a little piece that I put together that was more of a trailer inspired video. So it's not like I didn't compose a full song for it, but you use elements here and there, things that were like inspirational to him, and that's the first track that is out there in the world under that name. But offline, I told you that you got another awesome exclusive, which I'm really happy that you're giving me the chance to talk about, which is the next track that I'm going to put out is going to be coming for the Halloween time. And it's going to be a track that you're going to hear in my debut video game once it comes out, because there is not officially a release date. But Pinewood Valley is a indie horror game coming to PC and consoles, and it is slated for October. The official date is not confirmed at the moment, so it could be potentially delayed. But the first track I'm putting out is going to be the theme from the
Oh,
game that I
that's
wrote.
great. The main theme?
So the main theme, yep. So um, it's going to be released under my own publishing side and things like that, but it's a track you will hear in the game, and then in the future I'll start teasing some of the other music that you might hear in the game, and then I'm going to start putting out original music that may or may not be horror based, because I don't want to limit myself. So
So
yeah.
what are you what's your what are you working on with Pinewood Valley exactly? You're like the lead composer?
So currently, yeah, I have finished my role at the studio, and right now I am the lead composer for the game. So the game has been in development for a couple of years, and I know that they had a couple of composers contribute a song here and there throughout the development cycle. So there are going to be other contributors to it. But as far as like the majority of the music that's written for the game, that's going to be from me. So there will be a mix of some other music in the game as well. But
Congrats,
yeah, it
man.
was thank you. It was a really cool opportunity because the indie developer is all the way in Ireland, which very very far from New
Oh
Jersey.
yeah. No, it's close by.
Um,
What are you talking about?
but technology has
Yeah.
um, made it possible. So
I gotta
everything
ask
was
you,
through
man.
Discord.
How are you handling? Oh my god! If the guys that I already interviewed watch these, they're gonna start laughing too. But bro, I've been interviewing people from all over the world right now. Indie devs working on survival horror or horror games, and bro, to schedule a meeting is such a hard time. But I've been able to get it. There has been people that they after two tries of trying to schedule it, like to message back and forward, they just got tired and never respond again. At first I was like, oh my god, why are you not responding? Now I'm like, okay, if I see they don't respond, it's like they didn't like the thing. But I'm super open anytime, any day. Just let's just be there. You know what I mean? It's like, and then time zone is just chaotic. So
Yeah,
how do
yeah.
you handle that? For like, if you're composing music, you're working with somebody. So I guess you're just sending stuff via mail.
So traditionally, a lot of the conversations would just be through a Discord. Usually, I'm doing my best to talk to them earlier in the day to kind of accommodate when they're working on stuff. But ultimately, it was a really good back and forth relationship with that particular set of sessions because we kind of did it kind of location by location without going into too much detail, but like they would give me context of like, hey, we're working on this part of the game. This is kind of the environment. This is something we're hearing. We're heavily inspired by this. And if we can kind of do that without doing that, that's the most important thing I can do as a musician is show my influence
Yeah.
without blatantly copying it. And some influences are just so popular that if you mirror that, it is almost always going to be identified. I did my best to not do that because, again, one of their biggest inspirations was definitely a horror icon, and
Yeah.
it made sense to me. But it was also a little bit of a challenge because it's not necessarily one of my favorites in the world. I don't dislike it, but it was something that I did my homework. I listened to it and kind of reset myself of where it is. And, I'm like, okay, I could see why they want this. And the important thing was they picked me because I feel my sound was a little different. So my audition was interesting. It was another X Twitter scenario, similar to Cecil, where the developer posted that they were looking for somebody, and I replied, and we started talking fairly quickly. And unfortunately, at the time, I didn't have any composing experience in the realm of, everything I've been doing is songwriting most of my life.
Yeah.
I've written a lot of like unconventional instrumental tracks because sometimes I just write riffs and they just kind of put them together, and mentally I'm telling a story through the music versus lyrics. So I'm like, I'm kind of doing it, and obviously I wanted to do my research in the world of composition.
Bro,
So
what you've been doing with Neon Arcadia, you're already composing.
I appreciate that. I mean, that's kind of what I was
Yeah.
thinking, like every part of it is a different chapter, a different part of the story.
Hmm.
And, even when there's not lyrics, you can feel an emotion kind of traveling through those songs. So, um it was definitely a different writing approach that I was not used to. But again, the other part of it is just more of I'm a movie guy, I'm a game guy, I listen to this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And the thing that you don't listen for is some of the more important components that a lot of developers want in the music is more of the ambient stuff.
Yeah.
Like not necessarily, I don't need a melody, I don't need a rhythm, but if we can find a way to marry those two, that could be really cool. So basically, I just offered, hey, if you give me a day, I'll put a 30-second clip together. So that's what I did. I just kind of I went into my core inspiration again of Disaster Piece because again I use that as a reference because he has really been a big motivator for me in more modern music because we're also from a very similar hometown and such. But I took a moment and I just listened to stuff and then I put something together. And then I did research and saw that people had access to an alpha of the game like a year ago. And I took some of that footage and I put it with the music and then I presented it that way.
Oh,
I
that's
said,
awesome.
here's what I did, and here's some video to kind of go with it. And they're like, "Oh my God, you found some footage." And I said, I figured it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
And that was what won them over. So I'm beyond grateful that I had that chance to do it. And the relationship has been consistent. They've been really, really busy over the last couple of months. I know when I went away for my vacation in the summer, I just wrapped up my parts, and they were getting ready for the trailer, which I know you saw.
Yeah.
And when I came back, I actually helped them with the trailer too, which was really cool. So the beginning portion of the trailer was written by me, and then one of the other composers has the chase sequence that's layered in there. But I also helped them kind of build out the trailer a little bit, so I was involved creatively with that too, which was a lot of fun.
For the audience, that just to give him more context, we're talking about Pinewood Ballet, and it's a game where we've been talking for the past 10 minutes. Benny is the lead composer, and as of now, he's composing the main theme of it. But it's like instant. I've been, if you follow my content, I've been talking about how important it is for games to have a hook, right? You need to identify with the video game. It needs to make you, and I'm gonna steal Capita's point of view from La Autopsia, but you need to be feeling like you belong, you identify with the material in order for you to say, I need to play this. Pinewood Valley, I didn't see like a classic survival horror game. I just saw a horror game that gave me slasher vibes. And I'm a slasher guy, period. And I saw it, and then I saw like the trailer and saw everything. I've seen, images here and there. And I was like, this is something. I think I even mentioned it to you before I knew you were working on the game. Like the game or something. I don't know. I've been talking with the game.
We definitely spoke about it for sure.
And there's something special about the game, guys. I'm gonna try to capture a little bit of the trailer and put it here so you guys can see what we're talking about. I'm starting to do that too because people like it. People are very visual, and just dropping the link on the bottom, it doesn't work because guys, you're watching. Sometimes you're lazy, so I'm just gonna put some images here and so you guys can see what we're talking about. I think it's gonna be a great game. I think it's been like Benny mentioned, it's been in development for quite some time now. But it looks like something that's going to be very polished. And correct me if I'm wrong, Benny, but it is like an open world type of game.
So I can't speak to that, unfortunately. I apologize. Partially because I don't know all the details. Too, I think that they are waiting to kind of reveal all that stuff.
All
on
of
their
that
own.
soon. Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw some descriptions.
There's a variety of locations. So yeah.
Yeah, I saw something and it gave me that feeling. Can you at least give us like a background about what's the game about?
So the main premise that I understand is we have a character that is returning home to his town after many years. Unfortunately, I don't know the context, but basically him coming back to a town that doesn't look familiar anymore, and a lot of the people are missing, and he basically starts encountering crazy people. And every crazy person he spots is trying to kill him. So
that's exactly what I saw in the trailer. I think the guy is named Eli or something like that.
Exactly.
It's a very catchy trailer, guys. So you're working also on Fear Comes Home, but we're gonna just skip that for maybe the next time you come into the podcast. Talk us about a little bit about Milkman.
Milkman is very, very near and dear to my heart. So it's a project I originally wasn't part of in any way. And as far as I know, the developer did not have dialogue for the character either until we met. So long story short, this is my love-hate relationship with Twitter X.
Yeah,
I do that,
the same way, bro.
is I have no unfortunate engagement anymore. People don't seem to see my posts, so I feel like I talk to the wall. But I have met some amazing people like yourself on there, and I've had a lot of opportunities thanks to this application. So I am grateful. And the Milkman was no different. So it was the developer again, um, another developer from Ireland. Funny enough, young guy, really really awesome, and he was looking for artwork for the end of his the credits for his game. He was looking for some stuff inspired by Bendy. And I reached out because I have a little production team with Press for Time Productions. And I basically just tried to see maybe what his budget was and things like that. And we had some dialogue, and we ended up not moving forward with stuff at that moment because, we're all in the creative space. A lot of times we don't have a lot of money, and it wasn't about the money, but again, he wanted to respect the fact that if he couldn't afford it, he didn't want to do that. So I extended my hand. I said, hey, if there's any voiceover work you might need, I would love to help you out if I can. Just let me know. And he got back to me and he said, I took a look at your page and I saw that you played Clammy in the Cecil.
Yeah.
And I think that's my Milkman. And I said, really? He goes, well, my character doesn't have any dialogue at the moment, but I think I can make that change if you're interested. So for me, I'm like, I get to be the main bad guy? Why would I say no to that? I don't know if I
Milkman.
love the idea of being a bad guy all the time, but it's a lot of fun. And I'm again beyond flattered that that people have been supportive of my voice, my take on things. So yeah, we started working together, and that game is also in heavy development. Another one man show. He's doing it pretty much all himself. There's only two voice actors. It's myself and one actress that's playing the main protagonist, and it's himself. So it looks like it's coming along. He's active on all the social media, posting
Yes.
clips. He revealed a little clip with my voice, and
That's awesome, bro.
yeah, I'm excited for it. I don't know if it'll be this year, but I think that it'll be worth the wait, and the game will be free at launch.
Damn.
So that's a huge thing. So
So good.
that was another win for me. So yeah, I am your milkman.
Mr. Milkman. So Clammy was, I think, nobody, from what I took reading the reaction of people on the internet, and I'm saying on the internet because I don't want to be like super specific about stuff, but we're around the net, around the dark corners of the internet. Um, the Clammy character received a lot of praise. I mean, it was, I myself was very vocal about it. I was just telling like this is the best part of the game. It's that development towards the Clammy fight, and I even said in a short that I released that I thought that it should be, if I was somehow given the I don't know, the opportunity, I would have given more of Clammy, right? I did also like said like bring Clammy back on the Cecil too, which just I don't know if you guys seen the short. I'm gonna put the link down below too. I think it was great because it was one of the first videos that I did completely in English, and I even say it at the beginning of the video. I'm like, this video is English because I wanted to get to the right people, and it got to the right people apparently because they responded, and I'm happy about that
And
because
thank you for that.
anything I can do to help, man, I'm super up to it. But you're working on the Cecil too, right?
So I am involved in the creative directing again with the Cecil 2. It's active development. We are well on the way. I've seen a little bit of it already, and it's looking really good. It's looking a bit different in the sense of like there's a real evolution visually with the game. And again, it's too early to talk about any specific details, but I know that Jeannie has actively spoken on social There was a little bit of a teaser cinematic trailer that was
Yeah,
teased, a new protagonist, and yeah, it's a different story. I know a little bit of the story on the back end, and it is a really cool concept. I like the direction that he's going. I do like that there are potentially some returning characters. I'm not saying if Clammy is one of them, but there are maybe some characters or character that might be making a return from the previous game, um, including voice actor actresses. So I think that's really cool in itself.
yes,
And it's nice to see that the developer is motivated. The fans definitely enjoyed the game, and despite the little hiccups we had at launch, which comes with any indie game, we bounced back really quick.
that was
And
quick.
within the first month, we had it patched twice.
Yep,
I know we did have to adjust the save system a little bit, but it was for the greater good. But we had a lot of quality of life fixes. We made some progression improvements. We added some elements in there that weren't there before. Jeannie and I are the two that sat and we brainstormed, and I kind of played through the game like 4 or 5 times and gave a laundry list of just thoughts that I had that we could do either different or change things without overhauling the game. And also just all the performance adjustments that were done to accommodate a variety of PCs. So it was a process, but it was a process that was important to Jeannie and I because we wanted to make sure that the game could be as good as it can be in this short of a time window. Because that first launch, a good amount of people struggled playing it, performance wise and stuff, and we understand that frustration. And that's the make or break for some people. Like if they don't play
it's
the game and they refund it, it's a wrap.com. They're not going to come back. So
it's interesting because I remember everybody was like, I saw like people were complaining about the save stuff, and I never had an issue with it when I was playing it. I think we finished it in like 3 streams. People had a lot of fun. I recorded a couple of shorts because I did have fun with the game. The game was really really fun. Um, I loved the part. There's a room that you guys did like a hall of different content creators and stuff. Like put them in there like cameos. That was pretty fucking sweet. Um, I don't know. I enjoyed the hell out of the game. I think like I said, the game itself had already like a very very solid story, but everybody was expecting like that part, bro. When you open the door and Clam is just sitting in the bed.
yeah,
That was
I
like,
wanted a little more even for that part too. And believe me, I asked him and I said, he could be singing.
yeah.
He could be, but again, it's there was a reason and it makes sense. And the idea is if you remember before you get in the room, it sounds like it's a young girl crying.
Oh yeah.
So it's a little twisted, and and then you go in there and it's like
What the
that's
hell
not a
is
little
it, dude?
girl.
Dude, yeah.
Or yeah. Is he breathing? Is that a doll? Like what is going? And then obviously you see iterations of Clammy. Are they really Clammy? I can't say, but obviously you see his presence in several areas during the course of his level, which I mean to have my own level is awesome in itself.
Yes, sir.
So I think about that all the time, and
The whole
I'm so
presentation,
grateful.
bro, of the fight when he starts just sprinting at you, I was like, what?
Yep, screaming famous words. I don't want to do this,
It was
but
it
I have
was
no choice.
it was good. It was good, bro. It was good. It was a good game. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I'm happy
Yeah,
that I got to meet you the way that we did, because I think
same.
for the audience watching, Benny has a lot of care and passion for what we like, and now he's getting more involved with video games, and knowing somebody that's working this hard. Not that everybody that's been on this podcast are just fucking busting their asses, just working, bro. Like it's so good, and for me to have the opportunity to actually talk to you guys about this stuff, it makes me happy as hell. Um, and I want to take the time just to say props to the people that even English is not even their first language, and they're like, yeah, don't worry, I'll do it, and they just come and I've been meeting people from all over the place, bro. It's been crazy. The game industry, it's I feel like it's not a love and hate relationship because I don't really hate a lot of stuff, but it's just a circle of opportunities to meet awesome people, creative people. There's a lot of neurodivergent people. You can identify them like this. They start talking, and you're like, what? And then you look at their work and you're like, oh, now I see what's happening here. And this is an outlet for a lot of us. I enjoy talking about lore, about understanding what was the thought process behind character development, story, lore, putting everything together. And my fixation from my autism is tying that lore that they are saying that they're doing with the environment, how the game looks, how it plays. And then I'm like, okay, I love this game. I think this year I thought about something that I've never thought about before. And it's weird because I am a musician. I've known you for a while now, and every time we talk about music. But it was just one game this year. One game. And it was just that one song. So if Vincent is watching this, Heartworm, that Save Room song, bro, when that piano hits, I disconnected from the game. And at first I was like, why is this so catchy? It's just, there's a soothing pace in that music. And then it's like a loop, right? It's like a never-ending loop, but it suits you. And that's exactly what the music from Resident Evil and the Safe Room did back in the day. So he can achieve that without copying it. It's great because it gave me that sense of nostalgia. Like, I feel safe in this room when I enter.
Yeah. And
those details, that's what makes me drive this stuff, bro. That's why I'm doing this, because it makes me so happy. And being able to share, I don't know if it's knowledge, but at least what my take on it. There's a lot of people that are starting to actually send me DMs and thanking me about stuff. I just did a video explaining the Silent Hill F connection to the original Silent Hill games. I did it in Spanish though, but
nice.
There's a lot of people like, what? And I'm like, you how did you guys not catch this stuff? Like, you play the game and you're just ranting about how it's a Souls type online and trying to belittle the game and whatnot. And then they saw the video and they're like, oh, shit. And I'm like, oh, but what do you guys do when you play? You don't look around. You don't like, I guess not everybody is like us, but there's just people that just play the game and sometimes they don't understand the story, which I think it's what's happening with this game because Ryukichi is not a easy guy to understand.
Right.
But it's a very solid story. It's one of my favorite games of the year so far, and Chronos was a big surprise too. Chronos is so good. It's so good.
Too damn hard, but it was good.
Oh yeah, it's hard as I know. I'm actually almost at the ending because I had to stop. It's been crazy for me the past 2 months. I'm working on my new project. I never stop doing the interviews. I am doing the streaming. I cut 1 day of streaming and I talk with the community. They were all in, at least until I, release the project. I'm doing that. I'm doing La Autopsia. I'm doing the sessions and the whole thing. I'm also writing for a Spanish news thing. And then the guy Dan from Fear Scene, I'm going to start writing for Fear Scene too. So I was like, okay, I need to catch my breath here. I need to catch my breath.
So you're telling me you're also pressed for time? Oh,
yes. We're all in, bro. We're everywhere.
Yeah.
But
it's a lifestyle, bro.
I don't know. For me, it's just like you're in or you're out.
Yeah.
I can't be.
I believe, if you're passionate about
I can't be
something,
warm. I can't be warm, bro. You're either hot or cold. That's it. So I'm trying to work, bro. I'm trying to get around, and I hope that there's a lot of people that start to understand that. I think there's a lot of people that get it. I have learned when I started doing this, I didn't know how to do it. I just, thanks to Manolo, if he's watching, Manolo is like, he's a friend, he's a comedian from Puerto Rico, and he was the one who actually told me like, what do you have to lose? What do you want to do? And I'm like, well, my goal was to at least, I want to do a podcast with the guys from Residents of Evil at some point, because I've been following them since I can remember. And when I started creating content, one of them sent me, this is what we use to play the games, and it kind of helped me out. And I was like super grateful. Never got the chance to talk to them again. And then I write them and they replied. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. And he said, you see, you just need to go out there, right? So
You're never gonna know until you ask.
so I started doing it, and then I get super good answers, super good feedback, and then I get people that just look at it and they just scroll away. Some of them are returning now. It's like they're seeing what we're doing, and it makes me happy because I am not doing this with anything in mind that it's not getting the information out there. Because for some reason, getting people informed about this stuff makes me happy. I don't know what it is, Benny. I'm gonna be completely honest. It's just go
We all have a
play.
passion for
Yeah.
something.
I think at some point I was live like 2 years ago, I think, and we were creating the concept of La Bóveda. And I'm talking with the community, right? And one of them asked me, "What drives you? What's your like? Imagine that this channel is a car and you're driving it. What motivates you?" And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
first of all,
A loaded question.
yeah, it's a first of all, I love this. I love the interactions with people and stuff. Like it, if you like guys like the same type of video games that I love, I I was the weird guy, or grew up and now I know that it is him, right? But I was the guy that if I was talking about something, it doesn't matter what you were talking, I would end up talking about video games, and everybody was looking me over the shoulder all the time. So I enjoyed having my brother in the room watching me play. And there's this weird sensation when I'm streaming that it recalls that having people with me in the room watching me play. It's the same thing. But they're in their homes watching, right? So that's how it started. But then the same, the followers were like, Joe, but you know all this and all the takes, and you're very quick to understand and get conclusions and explain stuff, and you connect lore with previous titles, and you identify Easter eggs, and you should start creating content about this. So I am always so grateful to the community and the followers, because I think that at some point I even thought of quitting. I was like, I'm not gonna do this anymore, and a bunch of them came in, and I always am so grateful to Alvin and Christian and Kenneth, and there's a bunch of guys, Alex Barana. There's like they're always there, just like pushing, like Joe, don't quit. And then we start meeting people from Chile, and I don't know, bro. It just got it kind of exploded on me. People from Costa Rica, um, and then Capita came in, which is he ended up making the autopsia with me, La Autopsia, and he was like, what do I need to do for you not to quit? I'm like, oh. So we had the conversation, we came to an agreement, and he's like, okay, let's do this. And we started, and up to this day, La Autopsia is, for me, is so good because it has developed a small fan base that are waiting for the next episode. And every time they come in and comment and stuff, and that gets me pumped. So I think we're going the right way. So
Yeah, you did. You got a good thing going, bro. So don't give up. You got my support too.
thanks, bro. Thanks. That means a lot. So, Benny, what's next for Benny Rose?
Oh, there's a lot going on. But right now my focuses are FRAMEBREAKER.
Yeah.
Right now, I potentially am working on some music for a game I can't talk about, but you will be one of the first to know, I promise. But I am also getting much, much closer to my comic book, which is,
I was gonna
not
ask you
something we're
about that.
talking about
Yeah.
here. But yeah, my comic book is coming along. My artist, Juan Castellon, is from Costa Rica, and
Awesome.
we've been working together since 2018. And if you've ever seen any of my Neon Arcadia art, most of it was done by him. If you've played the Cecil, the loading screens that are in the game now were all illustrated by him. And we have a lot of other stuff that we do. And we are probably, I'd say 65, 70% the way through our book. In the drawing phases now, storyboarding, coloring, inking, lettering, all that stuff. Um, I have created a couple of new pages on TikTok because that's the outlet that I seem to have the most engagement on.
Yeah.
So you can find me at It's Benny Rose. You can find me at I Am Framebreaker. You can now also find me at Brain Damage Comics.
I was gonna
So
ask you about that. Yes.
yeah. So Brain Damage Comics is as personal as you get with all of my life. So I feel like I may have mentioned when we
That's
first
your
spoke.
dad's store, right? Yeah.
Correct. So, my dad has been gone 15 years. The store has been gone even longer, but it's a part of me. It's a reason why my room looks the way it is, why I wear Marvel, why I am just a nut for pop culture and movies and horror. I watched Total Recall and Child's Play 2 in the theater as a kid. I owe it all to not necessarily just him, but it was obviously him bringing me into that world. It was the store. My mother was a very big catalyst because without my mother, that store wouldn't have existed. So I owe it all to her in the end of the day because she pushed my dad to, do what he did, and she helped keep everything in place. So, for as long as she was a part of it, it was the gel that kind of kept things together. But the idea of how can I kind of have a full circle moment with my childhood in a way, like people have always said, when are you going to open a toy store? When are you going to open a comic book store? That's not for me. Like I feel like I left the retail business a long time ago. I don't know if I'd ever want to go back unless I needed to, but I have stories that I want to tell. Creative stories, personal stories, real stories. And I've written characters in the past that were part of short-lived webcomics that, were unceremoniously ended. We just kind of stopped doing it. And I thought about, what if I put a comic together with somebody that kind of helped those characters get a justified end, but also introduce people to what I did 10 years ago that never saw it, because it wasn't something that blew up, obviously. So, but it was important to me. So this first book is a story of closure for those characters while branching off and opening up the potential for other stories I want to tell with some of those characters. And the main character is based off of me, loosely, semi loosely. Um, Younger, better complexion, more hair. But I worked in almost every video game store in my areas at the time. So the story is called Closing Shop. Yeah, about that. So it's literally two friends that have been working in a store for 10 years that have decided that, they have accepted their fate, which is the owner of the store has decided that it's time to close the store. He doesn't want to do it anymore. He's going to turn it into a laundromat. He knows that it's easier money. And, you don't think about your job in a serious way when you're younger and you're working in those stores until it's taken away from you. So it's, what do these guys deal with on their last day? What do you expect? You deal with idiot customers. You deal with potential idiot employees coming back to visit. And just, it's not a normal day, as it never was in that store. So it is kind of like a slice of life with a lot of potty humor, because there was a lot of potty humor in those stories. A lot of poop jokes. But it was a lot of fun. And some of the other stories I have down the line are going to be different genres, because I have different emotional ties of different stories I want to tell. But we're going to build a Kickstarter to help get it printed. And this is
Yes.
just like a real personal project. Like if one person buys it, that's not me. I did my job. If we can get more people to buy it, awesome. But yeah, like Juan and I have been working painlessly across this, and he is working harder than anybody I've ever worked with before because he wants to do a lot of it himself. So he's storyboarding, he's drawing it, he's coloring it, he is inking it, he is lettering it, concept art from
It's a
all the
lot.
characters. It's a lot, and we have my original artist, Adam, is a little bit involved, but he is going to be key to kind of the older stories. So a really cool element that I think is going to be unique to the book is similar to the realm of like Family Guy when they do flashbacks.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have flashbacks and reference characters that were in the book, but the flashbacks are in the original artist's original style.
It's great.
So it's two different art styles, so you could see the characters mature, current to where they were. So it's a little tongue in cheek with that. But I'm excited to get that out there, and that's something I'm going to be talking about more than anything else right now. Because right now with FRAMEBREAKER, other than putting the song out right now, just working on stuff to maybe put an EP together, all the Pinewood Valley stuff, I'm at the mercy of the developer when they decide to release the game. I don't want to put all the music out until it's out. So I figured I'll get one song out and let people know that it's coming. So please, if you're interested, Joe, if you're interested, I will send you a full version of the video. If you'd like to tease that on here, maybe you want to edit it in.
Yeah,
You'll
sure.
have it exclusively because I'm not going to publish it anywhere else other than a teaser. But I'll give you the chance if everybody wants to hear it with you. That'll be the first time. The song is called Welcome Home. And spoiler alert, I have a little voice role in Pinewood Valley too. I play one of the killers.
There it is.
So there we go.
I knew something was up with Benny. He was acting weird. So, guys, I think that wraps it up for tonight. Benny, I want to thank you for your time. And is there anything else that you want to say to the guys? The microphone is yours, buddy.
Just thank you. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to listen the first time. This time, giving El Joe your undivided attention because he is a madman, but he is a pure, passionate, awesome dude that I truly love. And I am so grateful that he is in my life and keep pushing him to keep doing this. He's not going to realize what he loses if he stops. So Joe,
Thanks, man. I appreciate
you got
that.
a great thing going. I'm here to come anytime you want me to come on here to talk. Any chance to hang out is always an honor. So thank you again for your time.
So guys, if you're watching, go follow Benny. Stay up. Watch out for the Cecil 2, for Pinewood Ballet and the Milkman, and the work of FRAMEBREAKER. And if you're still watching, this is Welcome Home. Just listen to it. It's great. I promise you. Thanks for being here.
Take care and have fun, everybody.